June.
Yeah. It's a letter to the living creatures of the world.
The mind. I'ma try to stimulate your mind's eye right quick. Go ahead and listen. Okay.
Obnoxious as an octopus, riding a rhinoceros. In other words, there really ain't no stopping this. Hip-hop hippopotamus, spitting higher consciousness, killing every beat, let him rest in peace in the sarcophagus. Bad bitches getting off to this toxic shit just like phosphorus. Jaws all drop when I drop my shit, let me talk my shit. Worldwide stepping with the ostriches. Jealous MCs keep watching this. Trying by my style, can't copy this. Crying crocodiles, never prosperous. Trying to understand then process this. Sacrifice a motherfucking lot for this. Won't take a loss, the thought is just preposterous. It'd take a lot to conquer this. I'm ominous, I'm imminent. Hypothesis, you illiterate. Lost causes, that's belligerent. Synonymous with ignorance. I'm dominant, I'm different. Autonomous and vigilant. Anonymous and significant. It's hard for me to give a shit. My confidence is limitless. Now picture this. Keep clogging her esophagus. My cock just gets too big for this.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Gross.
Irrelevant as an elephant. Tap dancing with a skeleton. In other words, my raps is too intelligent. My style is just too elegant. My ability is evident. My soliloquies is eloquent. Obsessive compulsive perfectionist. Exceptional like I was heaven sent. Perpetually bringing the pestilence. King of the cobras, I'm venomous. So invite me, bitch. I ain't care if you don't like me, bitch. Bring your whole regiment to fight me, bitch. Quick to strike twice like lightning, bitch. Thought of the pains what excites me, bitch. I'm resilient like a chameleon. I just want my net worth to be in the billions. Call me the king of the lions, cause I am not trying to be just another civilian. Spirit's gargantuan, like a tarantula. Powerful force, tapped in the source. Just like a horse, never run out of stamina. Bitch, I'm amazing, just like a raven. I got the lyrics your spirit's been craving. Say I got too much energy, bounce off the wall, so y'all could all call me Dalmatian. I keep it 101, stare at the sun till I'm blind as a bat. When I'm excited, I don't know how to act. I'm never embarrassed, I'm just like a ferret and not holding back.
I cast spell. I cast spells. Hell driven.
Yo, lunatics.
Lunatics. I cast spells. I leave hell ridden to hell driven.
Lunatics.
With hell visions.
Welcome to MBS Live. We are so close to the end of season 1 right now, and I am so excited to share with you and have on Maitreya. Maitreya?
Yeah. Thank you, James. Yeah.
Heck yeah, man. So I kind of wanted to just really dive into, you just released an album.
Yes.
Right. And so, you know, and I don't know, it was really deep. Like you shared a copy of it with me and everything. And it touched on a lot of emotions and a lot of things that I don't think we talk about as much as people, you know what I mean?
Right.
Not only that, but like as artists, like, do we embrace like these emotions fully, or do we just write like a bunch of bops? You know what I mean? So I really respect that you kind of like put your heart out on your sleeve and you just like went for it on this one, man.
I'm really glad that was like obvious, you know, like that was actually the entire point, was like as honest self-expression as I could. I realized, especially in the industry, like rap in particular, a lot of people are really obsessed with a false image of presenting themselves a certain way. Whereas it's like, in our society almost kind of like shames people or discourages honest self-expression, you know, whereas artists, that's kind of the point. And so like, yeah, I'm glad you picked up on that. That's awesome.
Heck yeah, man. So the whole album, right? Like, and we'll kind of touch back to it later, but I want to just specify one thing real quick. It's called Letters I'll Never Send, right?
Yes.
And so you have 8 tracks on there. 7 of them are really, really letters. The last one was like,
It was
hell yeah, let's freaking go.
Yeah.
Killing in the name, right? Killing in the name. Yeah, I always get that one at Bulls on Parade mixed in my head sometimes. Like, I don't know why. It just
For sure. Yeah. Same band, both popular. I covered that to kind of show the roots. Like, you'd never know, like, where I come from. I used to be in a punk band. I, like, grew up on punk rock. I'm wearing my Minor Threat shirt, you know, like, with this, the direction of the album and the way that the songs sound, you would probably never know that. So I was just kind of like, hey, yo, you know.
Pay a little homage.
Yeah, exactly. Like, this is where we from, you know?
Hell yeah. Well, that's awesome, man. Let's dive into your story a little bit. You've been doing music for quite some time now, right? Like all your life, or?
Yeah,
Pretty much. So like when I was in high school, I was in a punk band called the Go Nowheres, and we kind of went nowhere, which was, we really lived up to the title,
Prophesize it.
Yeah. The beginning of the manifest, my long story short, my guitarist broke his arm and my drummer started a different band and just started taking all our sets with his other band, which is okay, but that's when I realized like having a band sometimes is really hard to get like 2 or 3 people to be able to be in the same room at the same time and always rehearsing and all that stuff. And sometimes, regardless of what happens, it's not on purpose, but you can't rely on everyone all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started making my own beats and rapping to them because I was getting really into like underground hip hop, like Dead Prez, Immortal Technique, that kind of stuff back in the day. And that's when like the rap thing took off. And then so me and my homie Tiger, we started this group called the Righteous Rebels.
Mm-hmm.
And it was with a couple other people too. But the overall goal of that was like a conglomerate, like just any independent artist that wants to come through and record something or wants to hit a beat or wants to make a different track, like just come through, we'll record, we'll make it. You can make it about whatever you want. You could get all the royalties, whatever. We didn't get none, but like if it was to happen,
yeah.
The only point was like, you're in the group now. You call it Righteous Rebels. Like it's no features. It's all just us together. You know what I'm saying? Like kind of like we get there as a unit or we don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me a little bit of like a Brockhampton type like group. You know what I mean? Like just get everyone in there and just be together.
Right. And so our first album as the Righteous Rebels was called Psychedelic Pimp Shit. And we worked with one of the most talented DJs I've ever met in my life. He was kind of like genius level. Like he even had like weird stuff going on, like perfectionist type. I was like, bro, you can chill, like it's okay. But we were living at my brother's house and he ended up coming through and staying for about a week and a half. And we pretty much were just playing, like he was bumping the stuff live in the backyard and we were just kind of like freestyling and rapping and coming up, let's change this sound, let's do this, like, and just recording everything for like a whole week, maybe even 2 weeks. And it was like me, my friend Chico, and Tiger for the most part. And we were all just going over this dude's beats. Every time, like I'd go to work, I'd come back there still on it 8 hours later. Then they go to work. And it was just a really, really great energy. And that's when I really realized like there's something to this, like let's keep this up. And so we dropped that. It was like 6 tracks. Very good though. They were longer songs too. So it's about like 30, 35 minutes. And like, the energy was just really good. And it's something that I'll always remember that like week and a half of just going hard, like dropping acid, eating, whatever. And just really going on the beats, like just only focusing on just like constant freestyles and stuff. And it was a very good experience. And then I did some time or whatever, and I had like a half-finished album when I went away. So when I came back, I finished that one. That one was called Extinction. It's very politically motivated. Mm-hmm. I was all like a little younger. I'm like, oh, I found out about all this crazy stuff that may or may not be true. Everyone needs to know about it. I'm going to save the world with my lyrics, And so it's a little almost like preachy, but not really. But it's still got a lot of emotional thing too. The production level took a slight downturn because that's the first one I produced by myself without the other homie.
Got it.
And then Empty Notebook was Tiger's idea because he would freestyle most of his stuff. He never really wrote anything down. And so he had an Empty Notebook and he's like, I want to call this Empty Notebook. And then that one was more of like a singular song, kind of like American Idiot or like any of that, like like Pink Floyd, the Dark Side of the Moon, pretty much just like there's no definitive break. And if you really want to like catch the actual whole album, like you should instead, like you can pick songs out of it, but there's no like single or like it was very much flow the same way. After that, I believe was Free Samples. And that's when I started working with a really talented girl named Paris. I met her. She lived in Encinitas and my friend had a recording studio in Oceanside. We would drive down there. I'd take my computer and we'd record. And she's like a singer and a rapper, and she writes her own stuff. She's amazing, but she moved to Florida. And so that was kind of like bringing her on. But she was also like you're in the crew. Like I said, like, it's Righteous Rebels. You'll be a Righteous Rebel forever, even if you go do your own stuff, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then she moved to Florida, and we made the last album called Post-Apocalypse Disorder. And that one was called that more like 2020 was, for lack of a better word, a global apocalypse for everybody in a lot of different ways. And it was about 2022, 2021 when we were putting it out. And it's like, how do we deal with this now?
Mm-hmm.
What is the disorder that this left for us? Like, where are we supposed to pick up these pieces and move on? We just realized society is a big scam and that you can just shut everything off when you want to.
Yeah.
So what do we do now? We just go back and pretend like it never happened, you know? And so it's kind of like this lingering psychological effect that everyone was dealing with, and nobody really realized or nobody really knew why.
Mm-hmm.
And so I kind of tried to capture that element. And that, I think, will probably be the last Righteous Rebels album, unless if my homie decides to come back. He just he had his own things going on. There's no bad blood. It was no drama. It's not like Fleetwood Mac or nothing, you know, like it's just, he decided like, I'm going to take a step away from the music for a while. And I didn't feel comfortable ever producing anything else because the core element was always me and Tiger. It was like every song was at least all him, all me, or both of us.
Yeah.
And so it's like, the Righteous Rebels is that partnership. It's that group. If I'm going to produce stuff on my own, then I'm going to just make it my Treya. Like, I'm going to start over.
Got it.
You know? Like,
yeah. Man, that's a rich history you got there too. That's a lot, you know. I don't know, man. Being in a specific group for a long time. I was with my band, you know, for 10 years, right? Maybe even a little longer than that. And you're right, like keeping people, you know, getting everyone on the same page and the same, it's tough sometimes and everything. So, you know, you guys taking that and being like, let's just all be independents together under the same name. That's a really unique approach to like groups, if you will, you know what I mean? So that's really cool. And then the fact that you still have like these relationships with these people and you know, they're off doing their own thing still, but it's like, hey, we still have that history together. Like that story is still there. Right. It was written together and it's still there. That's epic, dude.
That's what I love about the internet too. Like that music will be like, you know, 2462. It'll be bumping on Mars, you know, like we don't die.
No,
you know, it's very cool.
That's something I feel like, and I'll ask you this too, but like art, when we're sitting there making these songs or we're painting that pit, like painting or whatever we're doing, right? Like it feels so insignificant sometimes in that moment, right? There's times where it's like you're writing it and you're just feeling it. You're like, dude, this is it, right? But you know, it's like in that moment, for the most part, it's like I don't know. I don't know about you. Like for me, there's been times where I'm like, what's the freaking point? Turns out to be the best single on the album. You know what I mean? And so it's like, I don't know. I went on a small tangent, so I forgot my initial question.
Like you a grain of sand on the beach, you know, and you're like, do I matter?
Yeah.
With all this other sand here, you know? Yeah.
And I think having that perspective that you have, like, dude, yeah, people are gonna be bumping this on Mars, dude. Like, you know, and
right. And it don't matter how many people, like, so our SoundCloud on Righteous Rebels was what we were running through and it got popular enough that I was like, oh, wow, that's really cool. We still got like 14,000 followers. SoundCloud's kind of a dead medium, but it's cool. And it's like most of the people that listen to our stuff is in other countries, like Germany, like Argentina, like stuff, places I've never been, places I never thought to have an influence. And growing up on punk rock, there was always like those couple bands that like nobody's ever heard of. Yeah. Nobody ever will hear of. And like, those are the songs that impacted me the most. Like, I know all the lyrics to some band that like played for like a year. Right. And then the dude overdosed or some shit. And then like now, like, and I know his like his soul a little bit. Yeah. And that's like that kind of stuff. Like, you can't take that away from the person once you give it to them. Even if they never hear it again, it'll be with them. And it's not like I'm trying to implant certain ideas in their head. I want them to take what they take from it. But it's really cool. Like, these people don't know me. They don't owe me listens or follows, or they ain't trying to like make me feel a certain type of way out of an obligation. Like, and just that one person, that's enough, you know, like.
100%.
It's cool. Like they vibing with it. They felt how I felt for a minute, and that's
Yeah.
very cool.
That's all you need sometimes, man.
Right.
And you know, you don't need it. You know what I mean? But
You do as an artist.
It's epic. You know what I mean? I remember there was one time we're at the show. We sold out the Glass House, right?
Okay.
And so we were playing. There's 3 mosh pits out, like in the freaking crowd. I'm looking around. I'm like, this is insane. Like this is freaking. I'm looking at my guys. The bassist is like,
Yeah,
like, you know?
dude.
And then I just see like this one girl in the middle of all of it, and she's just, I shit you not, just this is what she's doing, standing still. She's just doing this, and I'm like, she's on another level, dude.
Right.
Like, you know. But she was feeling it. Everyone else, like, yeah, they're having a great time, but they weren't getting any
you
of the
connected.
song. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like she was in it,
Yeah.
and I was sitting there, like, it blew my mind. You know,
It's
what I
a
mean?
very special thing, man.
Yeah.
Very
Exactly.
special.
And then there's times where you're performing too, and you know, you close your eyes and you're in a completely different place, dude. Like,
right.
you know, let's we could go on forever with this, but let's go right back to the album real quick, because I definitely want to talk about this. And this album had so much like substance to it that I had to write down some questions. Most of the time I just wing it, and I'm like, you know, this.
I get you.
Not if there's another artist listening, I don't wing your episodes. I do your episodes. But you know, it's like most of the time, you know, we could go in and I can study each artist and like, okay, that's their songs and stuff like that. It's good. You in particular, like you threw me a curveball with your music, and I'm not saying it in a bad way. I'm saying it was like, I'm like, there's so much more to this than just, you know, tell me your story, give me some of your songs, and you know, let's talk about like that. There was a lot to it. So let me find.
I think a lot of people feel that way when they listen to it.
Yeah, definitely. And again, links are in the description below. Check out. It's on SoundCloud right now. I know it's going to explode out everywhere else whenever
December 8th.
December 8th.
Yeah.
So, and actually, this episode will be out by that time. So
yeah. Perfect.
So guys, the album has been out since December 8th.
There we go.
All the links are in the description below. Check it out. It's a must listen. Let's talk real quick, because I know you're about to perform a song for me right now, for all of us right now, and it's Letters for a Friend, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you actually had a good friend of ours actually be on the song with you, right, Lex?
Yeah.
And he was on, I think, the first or second episode of MBS Live. So this is like a nice little circle back to his history and stuff too. Like, let's talk about a little bit of like you and Lex and kind of what you guys are doing together and how that came about. But then please go into that song a little bit. Like, let's you know.
Well, to just put it plainly, like, I'm very blessed to know this person, and not only just because of like the business or like what he's doing or what I'm doing, like, but like he's like one of my best friends. You know, it's very cool that it happened that way organically, and we didn't meet through the industry. Like, we worked at the same bar for a while. He was a server and I was bartending. And it was just a really fun vibe for a good minute at that place. And we'd just hang out a lot, you know? And I remember I went to his first show that he did at Guadalajara's. And he was talking about, so I'm really inspired by this fool, because he was talking about like, man, I can't wait until I get paid to do music and I can quit this job and I'm just doing music. And now he's at like 17 different wineries.
Yeah.
And one of the most prolific like winery scenes. Everybody knows who this fool is, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, he said it and then he did it, you know? And that's very, very cool. And like, I remember I'm just like, and I was telling him the whole time, I'm like, fool, like, you're gonna, don't even trip. You're like a magician when you're up there. Like, you're captivating with what you do, and you can tell that you're passionate about it. And that's very awesome. And he has like a completely different style than me in like the way that we do our lyrics or whatever. Not in our writing, but in our presentation. Like, he sings and he's very smooth, and like he has a beautiful voice, where I'm kind of like obsessed with like choppy and quick and like kind of like more impressive fast rap, you know, like Tech Nine. Well, like not maybe one day, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But
you gotta be careful.
Yeah. But
Tech Nine.
so I decided to tone it down a little bit and bring him on, because so this was the first song that we actually did for this album. It's where the idea of all the letters came from.
Okay.
Long story short, somebody very special to me is going through a lot of crazy shit. I don't want to get into the nature of her business.
Yeah.
But it's life-changing and it's scary and it's, unpleasant in a lot of ways.
Mhm.
And it happened to be something that I experienced a very similar thing to. And so we connected on it. We started talking about it a lot. And then she had to move because of it, back to Washington. And so when The Righteous Rebels was over, I didn't necessarily know, like, I was kind of okay with, like, that chapter in my life is over,
Mhm.
And I just felt like such a huge inspiration. Like, nah, you need to make this song. You need to get Lex in it to do the hook. It needs to be a certain somber, real thing. And so the letters that I'll never send kind of came from the idea that, like, this is what I would tell this person honestly, but I would never, like, actually come out to say it. You know what I'm saying? And, like, to say it's like a love song is a little not correct. That's why it's Letter for a Friend. Like, it's deeper than that. It's that kind of love, like that you got for your homie or your dog. It's like, fool, I'll fucking,
Yeah.
do some bad things or some great things. Whatever you need, whenever you need it, regardless of what you're doing with your life.
Yeah.
And anyway, so I wanted to say that for her, whatever. I feel like she knows, but maybe she don't. She's not stupid. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I left it vague on purpose too. Anyway, Lex brings an element of beauty to what he does. And I wanted that element to show up really heavy in that song. And so we brought it on, we made a music video. And then I was like, let's run with this whole concept. Let me make letters for different situations that I would never send. Honest self-expression. I had some leftover beats that we never used for The Righteous Rebels. So I just started like, this one will work for that. This one will work for that. Let's put them all together and see what we get out of it. And, now we're here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, man, that's cool. And I really like the contrast that Lex brings into it too, with the hook and stuff. You know,
It's
what I mean?
perfect. And it's not like a stark, overbearing contrast where we're different. Like, we met in the middle to make like a really cool blend of styles. I really like it. It's yeah.
Well, let's take a moment for you guys to perform that real quick.
Okay.
So we ready. We are recording. We're good. What's up? This is the homie Lex, king of the wine country, sexy Lex Borja. This is the homie AJ from Stay Golden, master of percussion. We're about to do some live shit for you. Pay attention. Really know what else to say to you. Wishing I could spend every day with you. You gotta leave? I understand. Really praying there's a God and it has a plan. Really hoping one day I could be your man. We could buy some land, maybe have some children. But until then, you gotta fight them demons, girl. It's an evil world and it's all too much. Sometimes we lose touch, sometimes it's all fucked. Sometimes we lose trust when all we want's love, but all we get's lust. It's such a heavy burden to bear. Have a heart that cares, wishing I could take your pain and put it all on me. Keep me up all night and I can't even fall asleep. Watching you drown in the rain, the water gets so deep, but you keep on swimming. Try to take your life, but you keep on living, and it's beautiful to watch you take what you was given and turn it into something no one thought was possible. You smile through every obstacle, my cold heart melted. I swear I never felt this helpless, wishing I could rid this distance. Every single hour is got me feeling powerless. How could this be happening? You caught in such a tragedy. I'm wishing I could magically just take it all away, make it all okay, but instead I'm far away. So every single day, all I do is pray. Maybe tomorrow could be much better than today. And I ain't really know what else to say, but
if you hold my hand, we can walk all night, and I'll hold you tight in my arms and never let you go. I will hold you tight in my arms.
dude. Thank you. Thank you.
That was good, right?
Yeah, dude, and dude, I was like gonna give you most of them. So in 2022, I lost a lot of loved ones. Like probably more loved ones in 1 year than I have for the rest of my life collectively. Like 8 people I really had significant relationships with. Not just like it was always like, oh, you know, my friend's cousin passed away. I met them once and blah blah blah.
No,
This was like it hit close and it hit hard, and it was various different reasons. The big 2 were COVID and fentanyl, though. You know, multiple individuals, and so the first song on the track is probably the most raw and like the most specific. And it's for my stepdad and my uncle.
Okay.
Letter for the Dead.
Yeah, I was gonna say there was a part of that song where I don't know if it was intentional like this, but I felt it. You kind of just like took a step back and just damn, you know, like
Yeah.
huh, like
No, exactly. And like I almost didn't want to write it, and I'm just like, nah, dude, like you got to do this, like, you know, for not just for yourself, but for them. And that's the most specific letter that I really could never send. They can't even hear the song.
Yeah,
you know, and so it's very interesting.
Yeah, it's like I don't know, man.
And I was like brutally honest with what I was saying, the way that they passed and stuff, because it was brutally honest in my face. You know, what happened, and I left that beat more simple on purpose. It's just like one vocal sample, one beat. There's no ad libs. There's no extra FX or anything. It's just like, nah, you're gonna listen to what I say, and that's the highlight of this song. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna be raw onions. We're gonna chop those onions, and you're gonna cry.
Raw
you know?
onions, dude.
And so, like,
freaking, oh man, you're just giving me so many tattoo ideas since you've sat down in the studio today. I'm telling you, dude. Raw onions, hip hop.
Yeah, dude. Oh,
you know what I mean?
I'm still gonna get that, man.
Oh, dude, that'd be sick. And we could even talk too. Like, I know you have a lot of tattoos on the artwork that you chose for SoundCloud. I don't know if that's the official artwork for the album or if it is. I know you have the tattoo on your hand. I don't know if that plays into a lot of it or if those were just.
I mean, everything I do is with a specific intent for the most part. And with the body art, it's more about the location of where I'm getting it. And I have like 3 or 4 different artists that I will choose from based on the style of the art, whether it's realism or like a blend of different ideas. Like I told my homegirl, like, I'm gonna make a punk rock Yoshi. And so she just goes for it. And it looks exactly like I looked when I was 15. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, how did you know? She didn't know, you know? Yeah. And then there's like the more straight traditional.
You were a green dinosaur when you were 15? No, I'm just,
just like this, man. Punk rock Yoshi. Like, anyway.
No. So let's go into the letters a little bit more,
let's
man.
see.
Was there a specific one that was like the toughest?
Yes, it was Letter for the Future, and it wasn't the toughest, but it was what I was most excited for because this is the only song that I didn't make the beat for. It was one of my friends that worked at the same bar actually as me and Lex, and he's kind of like prolific in his own way. He's got a really good ear, and there was this sample that I have had in like my list of samples or whatever forever. I couldn't make a beat out of it. Like I couldn't figure out how I wanted to hit it. I sent it to this fool. Hits me back in like 2 hours. He's like, bro, look at it. And I'm like, what? And it's like, in my opinion, like the best beat on the track, you know? It's definitely the most sellable, you know? And so that one, I really wanted to like I'm not, it's hard for me. Like I'm more verses than hooks, you know? I tried to like pepper my own hooks in there. But that's the one that I really wanted to make like traditional song structure, really kill it and really impress people with like what I could do because the beat was so fire, you know? And so it's at the very end of it, I feel like I'm going pretty fast, covering a lot of stuff, saying a lot of good like metaphors or puns or whatever. And then at the end, I was just like, you know, like, and I like really was trying to just be like make people's brains explode.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so it wasn't the most difficult, but it kind of was in the fact that like I took an extra precaution on it. It wasn't just like, this is what I want to say. I'm trying to express a certain emotion through this letter or anything. This is like my letter to the future, showing like this is what I'm capable of now.
Mm-hmm.
So just wait. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
Yeah.
only gonna get better from here, and this is the proof.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, damn, dude. Like, you've touched on so many things in this whole album. And specifically, one thing that I noticed is you have letter for the past, letter for the future. And is there a present one? I don't remember. Is there one for the present? No. I mean, everything else, you know,
Letter for the Past was kind of that's one of the only features on the album. That was somebody that was in Righteous Rebels, my friend Virillion.
Yeah.
And he's kind of going through a difficult thing with one of his best friends, kind of like betrayed him in a way. And I was like, man, that happens. You know, I've had many different acquaintances, homies, not homies, whatever. You know, people are there. They may not always be there.
Yeah.
And so that's like, I kind of blended with a couple of them. I blended different stories from different peoples, from different aspects of my life together to make like a cohesive story that wasn't necessarily specifically pointed at one person. But I took that energy that he was given and I'm like, that's perfect for this, you know?
Yeah.
And then it's, letter for the friend and letter for the enemies. Enemies was kind of like the, my reaction to the oversaturation of garbage hip hop and music out there, lack of lyricism and lack of creativity. Like, yeah, dude, you can mumble and get money. That's cool. If you're into that on a certain level, proud of you for that, you know? Like, where you really at? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I kind of, like the overemphasis of demonic imagery and shit. And I'm just like, bro, like, nah, you know, like I'm lashing out almost at that point. And so it's like, you are making yourself my enemy. That's cool. Like that's exactly what this song is for. It's for you, you know? I ain't calling nobody out because I don't care. It's not about a personal thing, but it's definitely like a vibe that's going on in the music industry.
No, yeah,
you know?
I definitely get it, man. I think especially coming out of 2020s and all that stuff, right? And then realizing that, like, you know, like you said, the system is like just it's been fake the whole time.
Right.
You know, and then we gotta like just put on a happy face, go back. Like, you know, I don't know. There's been this like this haze over a lot of stuff recently, at least for me that I've noticed. It's almost like not what's the point, but like what now? Where's the anticipation for stuff? You know,
right.
Where's all that? So
I think you make your own point, man.
Yeah. You kind of have to, you know, like
you got your own value system and that's what you got to run with.
Yeah,
like.
Exactly. So last thing before we end this, and I kind of want to get philosophical with it. And I spent a long time like writing down this question.
Okay.
So if you just want to throw it out, we can. No, I'm just kidding. But it's like, I really want to talk like about the meaning in all of your lyrics and your albums and stuff like that. Is there an overall overarching meaning to everything that you're trying to accomplish when it comes to your music, your words, your lyrics, all that?
Yes, especially with this one, I would sum it up as honest self-expression. And I learned this a long time ago. Like, if you plan to be on stage, you never drop your stage presence. Whenever you're out, you are. And so like a lot of people will act one way. Like my someone I knew, they said wearing different hats. I have a hat for work. Or the mask, you know, like everybody wear the mask, but how long will it last? You know, the Fuji's like, you gonna wear what you're appropriate in. But to me, it's like, I ain't gonna change who I am or how I represent myself for anybody. I talk the same way to the Pope as I would to the garbage man, you know, and I probably respect the garbage man more. You know what I'm saying? Like, and to where like if you can let the influence somebody else brings want you to change yourself, it's a little strange to me. It's a little disingenuous. And so I realized at a certain point, if I could slow down how I speak a little bit, consider what I'm saying a little bit, and say it kind of with a nice poetic flow, and I'm always saying what's honestly in my heart, like out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth will speak. You can only lie for so long, you know?
Yeah.
And so it's like, if I just let it go and I just let it speak, when I freestyle, I don't got to worry about what I'm going to say. When I write, I ain't got to think about what I'm going to say. What's in my heart right now? Let's put it on a paper.
Yeah.
Right quick, you know? I'll tailor what I say to the beat so that I can use a certain iambic pentameter or like a certain amount of syllables or whatever. And like, I'll tailor certain words to rhyme with each other or sound like a better flow.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't have to dig deep because I'm always digging deep. I don't have to consider what I'm doing because I'm always considering what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
It should be natural. And that is what will separate somebody that's got nice sounding freestyles versus like someone like Lil Wayne, who just comes out and just wrecks the shit. Like he's always in his honest self-expression. He don't have to consider like, how am I gonna hit this one to sound a certain way?
Yeah.
He gonna sound like him no matter what, every time.
Yeah.
You know? And it's like, so that's gonna be the future of what I do. I'll have certain guidelines for a song. This one's the past. Let's talk about how you feel about that. But honest self-expression is something that I feel is very lacking in our society. Whether you're afraid of repercussions from your friends or your peer group, or you're afraid to be seen a certain way, or you're afraid of yourself to be honest with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I ain't trying to say anybody specific feels any type of way. I do feel it stems from like a fear. And the more you abandon your fear of things, the more you can be honest with yourself and the more you'll enjoy being yourself, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, definitely, man. And I think something that I was told a long time ago from my uncle actually was like, people only act in two different ways, out of fear, out of love. And that's it, you know? So yeah, I think people crave story, community, and honesty more than anything right now, you know? And I think the fact that you're advocating that through your lyrics, through your music and stuff is I admire that a lot. I think that's really cool, man.
Well, thank you. Yeah, there's a need for it, man. And what's sellable is not always, you know, like yeah, you could get a bigger marketplace or a bigger house or a nicer following or more followers on something like Facebook or whatever by doing what everybody else do or by presenting yourself a certain way. But I'd much rather, like I said earlier, have that one person that really the girl in the crowd, you know?
Yeah.
Like, she's there, man. I ain't trying, like, that's what it's all about to me, you know?
Yeah. Awesome, man. Well, thanks for sitting down and kind of diving deep into all this stuff and talking about it, man. That's
absolutely
really cool.
Thank you for having me. Thanks for inviting me on.
Like I said, all the links are in the description. Go and check out his stuff. It's so easy to just go down there, click it. And any other shows that you have coming up, he's going to be blasting out on all of his social medias too. So guys, you need to check it out. You need to listen to this music.
Absolutely.
Heck yeah, man.
Thank you. Yeah.